will now give his final instructions to both boxers.
I spoke to you both in the dressing room, boys. You know what I expect of you. Punch with the knuckle part of the glove. One of you goes down, the other goes to the third with the corner. Break when I tell you to defend yourself to the corner. So shake hands, boys. Good luck to you both.
Ladies and gentlemen, 12 3-minute rounds for the WBO Super Featherweight Championship of the world.
Well, a colossal reception from the Glasgow crowd. This week, Ricky Burns was named Sports Personality of the Year by the Sunday Mail. That's how much it means to newspaper readers in Scotland and to the people of Glasgow. He's Scotland's 12th world champion. I'm alongside another of them, Jim Watt, and it made the hairs stand up on the back of your neck, that reception, Jim.
No, tremendous. He's got a knockdown in the first series punch. There wasn't a damaging punch. I think he caught Evensen pretty square. He's not been hurt by it. But we're starting off with a 10-8 round unless something else dramatic happens in the opposite direction.
Well, is he going to be able to get him out here, right here and now? You see why he's so popular, and this could be Ricky Burns' hour. It was a flash knockdown more than anything. No lasting damage, I don't think, has been done to Evensen, who's essentially a come-forward sort of pressure fighter, but he really walked straight into on there.
Well, this is a reversal from last time. It was Burns who found himself on the floor with the first decent punch.
Just 10 seconds into the fight, Evensen went down.
And you can see already how difficult he's going to find it to get past the jab of Ricky Burns. Ricky standing his ground, standing tall, but with the chin down and the hands up. He's retained a lot of his amateur style, Burns, but he's now adapting it to the pro game, using all his physical advantages, and that's an excellent start.
He stands 5'10", Evensen less than 5'5", and Burns has got a reach advantage of around about 5 inches, and that's going to be a big problem for Evensen, who's on the receiving end again. Another solid right hand cracked in from Burns. Well, this has been the dream start from the Scot.
Look how composed and the look of control that he has on his work. He's just standing there, just ready to pick up on any mistakes they can draw from Evensen. Just flicking with his own jab at the moment, Burns just kind of keeping Evensen at bay. Starting with a knockdown, so it doesn't have to ask for anything else. That's one round safely in the bank.
Evensen has won his last 4 by stoppage, and he's on a winning run of 7 since one defeat against the Canadian Benoit Godet. Since then, though, and Godet went on to fight for a world title, but since then he's put together this winning run, which has brought him this opportunity against Burns. You can see that despite the knockdown, he has recovered well.
Yeah, he's a little buzzsaw. I mean, he keeps trying to come forward. He knows he has to get close to be effective. That's the way he normally boxes anyway. So he's trying to get close, but Burns' reflexes are good. He's got right down to business. He's obviously warmed up well in the dressing room. So excellent opening round, but you can see, I think we're in for an entertaining little battle as long as this one lasts.
And once again, the thunderous acclaim goes up from the crowd. The bell almost inaudible, but the opening 3 minutes are over. Billy Nelson giving words of advice in that corner for Ricky Burns in a sensational opening.
Right hand it was, okay? Then you start looking for the right hook. He straight punches him back into the body, okay? See when he steps back, you go back on that jab, okay?
I mean, it wasn't a punishing knockdown, but nevertheless, a punch landed, seemed to catch him above the ear and dropped him. He wasn't badly hurt, you know, just about met himself coming back up again, just touched down, straight back up. But genuine knockdown. It was counted 10-8 round to start tonight's work. Excellent from Ricky Burns, and boxed well all the way through the opener.
Helge Barroy, manager and trainer of Evensen. So the second round, and what a dramatic opening to this fight here. The WBO World Super Featherweight title at the Braehead Arena. It is pretty much a full sellout here, and a tumultuous atmosphere is now encouraging Burns to go out there looking for a spectacular win. He's not a noted big puncher, but he grew that night against Roman Martinez. He grew in confidence, grew in stature, and he's looking here to post something spectacular.
Well, he proved against Martinez that he can stand and trade with the best of them, because Martinez was looked upon as the most dangerous at the weight, and he took his best and come back with his own. But he doesn't want to be looking for the knockout. He's not a natural puncher, so he's not a natural predator. So he doesn't want to alter his style too much. So just keep a cool head, get the long punch with a lovely left hook.
Evenson's right hand is his danger shot. You saw him wind up earlier in the round with a big, wild overhand right, which was well off target. Burns is boxing nicely. Defeats on his record, they came against Alex Arthur back in 2006. And then against Carl Johansson the following year, but he's grown since then. He's improved.
Yeah, he was only a kid. He certainly wasn't ready for the Alex Arthur fight, and pretty much the same for Carl Johansson. But he's grown since then. He's a man now, different fighter altogether. Hasn't altered his style much, but now he's learned the job. But credit, I like Evenson's attitude. He's giving it a real go. He hasn't stopped working, hasn't stopped trying. So confidence has certainly not been dented by the knockdown.
Evenson's mum and dad, Tove and Roald, at ringside. Also his brother Bjorn, another adopted sister Sandra, who's blind and disabled, older than him, and she'll be listening, watching on Norwegian television. And this is good again from Burns, but Evenson absorbs them well. And he's doing well here. Evenson coming back, trying to respond with shots to the body, keeping Burns under pressure. He's got the reputation of being a pressure fighter, Evenson. Evenson coming right back at Burns, not being fazed by that early setback, showing composure and trying to mount attacks of his own, trying to keep the pressure on.
If he can push Evenson back, if he can push him back, that takes just virtually away all of his assets. But another excellent round for Ricky Burns.
Okay, you need to stiffen that jab up. See when he's going back. Ricky
Burns had the first round knockdown, and the second round he looked the sharper fighter as well.
No, Evenson's corner feel he did a little bit better in the second round. He didn't win the round, but he was a buzzsaw, but he just wasn't really producing. There's no real method in what he's doing so far, so Burns still keeping him under control.
Burns looking to box him, looking to use that reach advantage and work away behind the jab. He's been a very much improved fighter, I think, since he's been under the tutelage of Billy Nelson.
That's a solid left hook. Burns has just landed there. I think with confidence alone and maturity, his punch power is certainly improving.
Evenson has been seen in Britain before. He fought on the undercard of Matthew Macklin against Armin Asikainen back in 2009 at the Manchester Velodrome, beat an Italian opponent with a fifth-round stoppage. Altogether different level here, though. And good work again from Burns. I'm impressed by the way in which he's bossing the centre of the ring, and that's a good body shot. You see Nazim Hamed giving his approval for that, and the round of applause as he sits at ringside on that far side. Referee Dave Parris having a word with Burns about using the forearm to push his man back. No, he's got plenty of energy, plenty of determination, and as you mentioned, that sort of buzzsaw sort of approach, but he's not so far been able to land anything really of note to put Burns in any degree of significant problem. Yep, planting his feet and throwing his punches with a great deal more authority than was once the case. Evensen still in there pitching, but it is not going his way at the moment, going emphatically the way of Scotland.
Join us on December the 10th, 6:30, HD1 and Sky Sports 1. We'll be at all three venues with three big fight teams, England, Germany and America. Our final countdown to Great Britain versus the world on Saturday, December the 11th.
Here we go into the fourth round with Scotland's Ricky Burns defending his WBO World Super Featherweight title for the first time, and at this stage is doing pretty well. Evensen, who has a degree in sport and society, real bright young fella. And it takes some guts to go away on your own as a 19-year-old to go and learn your trade in the gyms of Cuba, which is what he did.
Yeah, well, I said his attitude impressed me right from the off, and it's things like that when you learn about him. Obviously, he wants to be a successful fighter. The fact that he's based in Norway, he's used to boxing abroad, obviously, the professional boxing banned in Norway. But he's just a little bit short in method, maybe talent. But you get the feeling that he has the strength and the enthusiasm, and if this goes to the second half, which it looks likely at the moment, he could start posing some problems. He's very strong.
Maybe. This is not going to be all that it seemed in the early stages when Burns had Evensen down after just 10 seconds, remember, of this fight. A little bit of a protest to the referee from Ricky Burns, suggesting, I think, that he might have been thumbed there in that exchange. He was not happy. He just got caught, I think, in the right eye. How it happened, I'm not quite sure, but he was looking around just as much as to say, well, something's gone wrong here. And you can hear you can see maybe over the far side there, the Burns corner shouting their instructions to their man and just wanting him just to regain composure. And just signs here that Evensen's getting more into the fight. Far better from the Norwegian, and the flags of his home country among the handful of supporters sitting around ringside are visible. They sense that their man is coming more into it, despite the roars of the crowd every time that Burns comes forward. But Evensen is right in his face and trying to make a fight of it.
Beveg deg mot høyresiden din hele tiden, og du må holde overkroppen i gang, og du må holde armene opp. Det er 3 ting du skal bevege opp hos dem. Ta deg tid. Du trenger ikke kile deg i
Well, the statistics. Burns has thrown them all, he's landed them all. But Evensen, did he do enough to win the last round, Jim? Burns had a terrific amateur career. 100 wins out of 106, he claims. Turned pro age just 18. Came down, started as a light welterweight, but here a super featherweight champion of the world. Shot, good right hand from Burns, and Evensen had to soak that one up. Beautifully timed right hand from Burns, arguably his best punch of the fight so far, and the head's going in. You can see the height disparity there as Evensen gets into the chest of Burns, and the referee Dave Parris saying keep your head up. Well, it's easier said than done when you're 6 inches shorter. Evensen, you can see, visibly growing in confidence. Had that ragged start, but he's starting to fancy this one. Good left hand, good hook from Burns, lovely shot. But back comes Evensen with a solid left of his own. Ask Roman Martinez. The crowd again set up the chants for Ricky Burns. Burns tries to respond. Good body shots. Forcing Evensen onto the back foot. Right hand from Evensen over the top, cracked into the side of Burns' head. You can't afford to be absorbing too many of those. So 5 rounds completed. Burns landed one real good quality right hand in this round.
Yep, I think he realises he has to try and find a way to dent the enthusiasm of Evensen. I don't know that that's going to happen, but that was a good response. Some good quality shots from the champion in that round.
So 6th round underway, 12 rounder of course, the championship distance. Ricky Burns ahead on our cards in this first defence. And he started the 6th round positively.
Well, Evensen has never been troubled by the power, but Burns has landed some real decent shots flush. Again, uncomfortable look. Burns been the one who wants to grab up close there.
Burns is looking to show that he's got punching power, you sense. It's not really naturally his game. Evensen trying to provide that mobile target. He's not throwing the volume of punches.
Decent left hook from Evensen there. Just drew Burns onto that.
World title fight, so much at stake. And the Norwegian, they have a tradition of boxing. It's banned, it's outlawed, as you heard earlier, in his native country. But there are plenty of fans who'll be watching it on the web, and they'll be watching it on other broadcast networks within Scandinavia, and it would be a big result for Norway if he were to emerge victorious.
Well, Well, I'm sure this is not the battle that Ricky Burns had planned. He's having to get a little bit more involved. I'm sure he would rather this at long range, just what he's doing at the moment. But he's been drawn into a bit of a brawl by Evensen. He'll be quite happy at the moment. So Burns just has to tidy things up, cool head, try to get his punches off a little bit earlier, keep this fellow at long range.
Maybe just a smear of blood around the nose of Evensen. Some of those jabs of Burns have found the target.
So he threw with a few punches in this round, Evensen. Good little spell from Burns at the moment. But he was being harried a little bit.
Good body shots, Jim. Lovely from Burns. Starting to unload, an instant response from the crowd. But then back comes Evensen. Those punches taken largely on the gloves of Burns, but a left hand to the body did get through, left hook.
And no dip in Evensen's work rate either. Still looks to have plenty in the tank. Got himself in great shape. I wonder the fact that he's been campaigning mainly as a featherweight. The longer this one goes, I wonder if just the physical presence of Burns will tilt things in his favour. But I thought Evensen did well in that round.
Well, let's hear how Glenn McCrory in the studio is seeing this so far. What do you reckon, Glenn?
Well, I think it's a very good and entertaining fight, with Burns starting very good, looking strong and in control, looking to plant his feet and land power punches. But Evensen, as he goes on, is growing in confidence, and he's starting to fancy this, and he's looking better and busy. And I think Burns needs to go back to his old style and throw a few more punches. Forget about the power. Make sure he gets it on points.
Yeah, well, you can see here when he does dig in the punches, gets the leverage behind the shots, turns his shoulder and his hips into it. He can push this fellow back, but it's keeping him back is the problem. Evensen is really fired up for this. This is a huge opportunity. He'll never get another one, and he's giving it everything. Full credit to him.
We move now into the second half of the fight, into round 7. Ricky Burns only with 7 stoppage victories in his 29 wins in his professional career. He was a big favourite to win this fight. Evensen, though, you can just see by his demeanour the way in which he's carrying this contest to Burns, the way in which he's battling in there. He is so up for it.
Yeah, Burns trying to stand his ground again and meet Evensen. Doesn't want to be pushed back. He realises that. But the little buzzsaw again just won't leave him alone.
Certainly not had the punch superiority that he did against Martinez. Punch stats against Martinez, it was over 200 against 210, was it, against 83. Well, Evensen has certainly thrown his share in there.
See, Burns standing his ground, not refusing to be pushed back, and that's when he can really do some effective work.
Good body shot from Burns, responding to that right over the top from Evensen.
Well, they say it's more difficult to defend a title, and I think the reason for that is the other fellow has a chance of a lifetime. He's giving it everything. You're just trying to hang on to what you already possess. So, psychologically it's different, and you have to hand it to Evensen. Couldn't be putting any more into this.
Well, it's massive for Evensen, isn't it? Real life changer. Burns, you could say, by beating Martinez, has had his life-changing experience, and here he is trying to build on it, trying to cash in. For Evensen, so much at stake. Penny for the thoughts of his brother Bjorn as well. Evensen actually took up boxing all those years ago because he was fed up of being bullied by his brother. Well, he doesn't bully him too much now.
I don't see anyone bullying him now, no. A good left hook again. Burns has landed some lovely left hooks, hasn't really dented this little fellow, but quality punches.
Well, Burns, we know, has got the fitness and the strength to go all the way to the 12-round championship distance if required. Did it against the man reckoned at the time in Roman Martinez to be the best super featherweight in the world. Seven rounds complete, and Burns, well, on my card anyway, Jim, he's got to be firmly in control.
Yeah, he's having to work hard every second to keep himself there. Some uncomfortable moments just by the pace. And there you can see him having 4 points up at the moment. But you know, Evensen giving it everything, still seems to have a lot in the tank, a lot more to offer, and still, you know, a few uncomfortable moments for Ricky Burns.
Just got a little bit of swelling underneath the right eye. They're just working away to it, and also working on damage to the face of Evensen in the opposite corner.
When you're punching to left, you're all the time punching.
You're falling a bit short with it, okay? The only time this fella's going to chew is when you let him come forward swinging.
Straight in the middle. Look to the side. I know you're come on. Take deep round line.
Billy Nelson and Dean Powell, the men giving the words of advice. Glasgow's hero on our cards anyway, as they go into the 8th round. Ricky Burns ahead. Oh, good body shots. Evensen felt the weight of those.
Burns not quite reproducing the form we saw against Martinez. Maybe that was his special night. Fighters sometimes have a special night. But he's struggling a little bit with the pace at the beginning of this round. Maybe Evensen's corner have told him he has to start putting a bit more in. That's better from Burns.
It can happen though, Jim, can't it? When you reach the heights, as he did against Martinez, there can be a hangover, and there is such an expectation, there has been all week, particularly in the Scottish media, I think, that Ricky Burns was going to go out and really do a number on Andreas Evensen and look $1 million in the process. Well, it doesn't always quite work out like that in boxing. It's about styles, and this fella, by virtue of the fact he's so diminutive, can be an awkward customer.
Yeah, and it's what he's put into it physically. I mean, he hasn't stopped coming forward, hasn't stopped throwing punches, and I'm sure Burns would have thought he would have envisaged a real smooth boxing display, but he's having to dig in. Now, this is good stuff.
There's a good right hand in there, which Evensen had to take pretty flush, but he took it well. Both of them sustaining a terrific work rate in this round.
Well, you get the feeling that Evensen is more comfortable with the work rate. This is the kind of fight he wants. Doesn't have the quality required, but certainly the work rate and the fact that he's taken that smoothness away from the champion. So maybe they'll be reasonably happy in the corner with that.
The lad around the mouth and the nose of Evensen now. The accuracy of Burns is starting to tell. Burns, apart from that little bit of a swelling underneath his right eye, is pretty much unmarked. Evensen starting to look a bit busted up.
Yeah, and there's no real technique, no real method in what Evensen is doing. He's just bundling forward, non-stop punches. There's not a great deal of quality. So Burns now and again can just time him with some good solid punches.
And he's keeping a nice tight guard, Burns. Not too much is managing to find its way through. Using that reach advantage impressively as well, and clipping Evensen with that little right hand as he was off balance, and going to work on him again, and straight away the crowd start to respond as Burns opened up with those hooks.
See, again, it's the work rate of Evensen against the quality and accuracy of Burns, and I'm leaning with Burns.
Well, he's starting to go further clear on our cards. Evensen needs a big round. There's the stats that we've managed to collate for you at ringside, and you see there overwhelmingly the volume of punches, 170 to 72. It lies with Ricky Burns.
Yeah, I mean, it's the accuracy percentage. Evensen has thrown so many, but he's not finding the target. He's been met with good punches as he comes forward, as I say, causing uncomfortable moments. But Burns sticking with the job, concentration good, just drilling out the punches.
You're a world champion for a reason. Okay?
Come on.
Come on.
Listen, he's trying to do to you. He's trying to do to you what you did to Martinez. Okay, now come on.
That left hand's going to go back.
Well, I don't know how much concern there was there, or whether they're wanting him to guard against complacency, or maybe they see it as being a closer fight than we do, Jim.
Well, I mean, Evensen could be rewarded for what he's putting into it, you know, the work rate, the volume. I don't think the quality's there, but it hasn't stopped throwing punches. I would like to see Burns take the initiative a little bit more. Don't allow Evensen to launch so many attacks.
I heard Billy Nelson saying, come on, you're the world champion. You're the man. And he's trying to do to you what you did to Martinez. Stirring stuff. Good left hand from Evensen. He still has genuine belief. Burns can't afford to get sloppy.
Well, we've seen what Evensen's got. I mean, he's been doing pretty much the same things right from the off. He's not going to change now. So I just feel good left hook from Evensen there. Troubled Burns slightly. Burns having to dig in, you know, drawing in the oxygen there. Good work from Evensen.
Yeah, he's growing in confidence and bullying Burns back. Burns has never been stopped, remember. Went the distance when he was defeated by Alex Arthur and by Carl Johansson. Evensen is having a much better round.
Good body shot there from Burns. But again, takes his bumps, Evensen comes firing back.
That's better from Burns. Those are the sort of shots which command respect. Applause from the cognoscenti sitting at ringside.
See, he just seems to switch on every now and again, Burns, and dig in some real powerful punches. Doesn't seem to have the power to dent this fellow, but he can just stop him in his tracks.
Well, I reckon, according to our cards, Jim, that Evensen's got to find a way to put him down and really win big, or to stop him. And it doesn't look as though that's going to happen. And Burns has the edge in power. Just needs to sustain his attacks, though.
Yeah, Evensen did some good work in the early parts of this round, but Burns has just switched on again, digging in with the punches, getting good leverage behind them.
Been a good round, this one. Ebbed and flowed.
It's been good action all the way through. Not too many clinches, thankfully. But I would imagine as the pace slows on, we get into the later rounds, maybe become a little bit untidy.
Dave Parris has done a pretty good job. He's had harder nights. Good left hand from Burns. Evensen again absorbed it well. And Burns finishing on the offensive, which probably means that he took that round as well. Let's hear how Johnny Nelson's reading it. Johnny.
Burns, the first half of the fight, took the centre of the ring, put the pressure on Evensen, but Evensen's never been past 8 rounds, and he's actually improving as the fights are going on. Burns can only work in 10-second bursts. Evensen, it seems to be suiting him, thinks Burns is made for him. So as the rounds roll on, let's see how strong he's getting.
Well, here was some of the action from that last round. Burns fighting in spurts. They're mighty effective as he did fight, but Evensen had his moments as well.
Yep, Evensen started the round very well. So he forced Burns into gritting his teeth and fighting back, and he did it in good style. And they landed a lot more quality punches in the last minute of the round, which probably turned it in his favour. See, the difference in quality has been evident all the way through. Evensen not putting a lot of thought into what he's doing. It's just work rate, it's pace, and non-stop action from him.
Well, just 3 rounds now remaining. We've already seen disappointment tonight with the defeat of Paul Appleby, but let me remind you, one of the judges there found a way to give it to Appleby, that fight. It was a split decision when we had it emphatically going the way of the Ghanaian Joseph Larea. If it goes to the judges' cards, well, you never know. Burns, though, had his man down in the opening round and has looked to have been the better fighter, the more authoritative puncher, but Evensen has never stopped coming.
Well, Burns has him on the back foot at the start of this round. But here he comes again.
You have to admire his determination. You said earlier, opportunity of a lifetime. You only get so many windows of opportunity in life, and so much in an unforgiving sport like boxing. And Evensen still has belief. Still, he thinks he can pull it out of the bag in these last 3 rounds.
Burns again, the one who was happy to grab hold up close there. So it's still those uncomfortable moments, the heads clashing there. Burns caught it in the chin. Yeah, Dave Parrish's warning. I mean, you have to expect the difference in height, the heads are going to come together and that Burns is going to come off worse.
Burns trying to use his reach advantage, trying to keep Evensen at bay, but easier said than done when this little pocket dynamo comes charging in bull-like, trying to land overhand shots, aiming at the jaw of Burns, knows he needs big punches and gets through with the right hand and the left hand. Just anxious moments for a second or two for Burns, who wants to hold on the far side of the ring.
Yep, grabbing again. So, Evensen again, the work rate, I think, just nicking things in this round. Burns not responding the way he did in the previous round. Is the pace beginning to get to him?
Norwegian's having a good round, and Dave Parrish now saying to Ricky Burns, just tidy your work up. And he's got a little bit ragged. He just seems to have lost the game plan slightly over the last round or two. Maybe it's the pace which is told. We expected Burns to be the one who would go the 12 rounds the better, but look at Evensen, right up on his toes and still full of energy there. That's better from the Scottish champion.
See, Burns is a smooth boxer who needs room to work. Good left hook from Evensen, so Evensen has denied him that room throughout this. And as the pace slows down, he gets a little bit tired, he's just becoming more of a struggle. This is a decent round from Evensen.
The little Norwegian. What a result it would be if he could win here in Glasgow. He's probably taken that round, and Burns will get 1 or 2 harsh words perhaps in that corner.
2 rounds to go, right? 2 rounds.
Breathe deep, get your wind up. It's all right. Breathe deep. Listen to Billy.
Oh, sorry, you're wrong. Listen, don't feel sorry for yourself. Go and fucking...
Apologies for the language there.
I know you're bad. It's okay.
But you can maybe appreciate the emotion.
Yeah, I think
Don't
they're
feel sorry
realising.
for yourself.
Yep, I think they're realising that Burns is maybe losing his grip on the fight a little bit. I mean, nothing disastrous has happened, but he was certainly outworked in that round. And the signs, the way he was always the one happy to grab hold up close, looking for the breathers, whereas Evensen just kept doing as he's been doing all the way through. There's been nothing clever about it, nothing subtle about it, but it's just been non-stop effort and non-stop work.
Seconds out, round 11.
Well, you absolutely know that the little man from Trondheim, Andreas Evensen, will keep on coming. But Burns, if the judges are agreeing with our scorecards, he should be on his way to defending his title successfully. But it's looking as though it might go right the way down to the wire. Burns being forced onto the back foot again by Evensen.
I just think too often Burns has allowed Evensen to make the first move. He's not an easy man to counter because he rolls on behind the punches that he throws, so he's not easy to counter. You can't make him miss and hit fresh air. So Burns has to lead off, take the play away, take the initiative. Good work again from Evensen here.
Yep, good work again. Maybe just narrowing the gap a little in the closing stages of this fight, which has certainly not turned out to be the cakewalk that a few people predicted that it would be. Oh, good shot from Burns. Lovely uppercut, right hand. And now has he got him going? It was a peach of an uppercut, and now Burns is starting to wade in and looking to take Evensen out, but maybe the little Norwegian has just ridden out the storm there. But the right uppercut, Jim, absolute peach.
Yeah, and followed it with a lovely right hand as well, so he just has to keep his cool here. He knows he has the power to shake him up. Evensen obviously must be tiring what he's put into this. But Evensen still landed a lot of punches in this round. Just the tape coming loose on the glove.
Well, that's giving both fighters a few moments of precious respite from what's going on in there. It's been fought at a really fast pace, this fight. And the two of them looking to uncork some real bombs in the closing seconds of this, the penultimate round.
Well, Burns showed the qualities of a champion here. Things were going against him, and he just put together a lovely little burst of punches, forcing Evensen onto the defensive. But Evensen's landed a lot of punches in this round just before that little excerpt when Burns took charge.
Don't feel sorry for yourself was the instruction. Burns has tried to raise the pace and has tried to land some big shots here in the 11th, but is he doing enough? Is the volume of punching coming from the challenger, Evensen? Neither of them knew a great deal about each other. They've not seen a huge amount of action either way on tape. They've had to learn it as they've been going along, and they certainly know all about each other's attributes now.
This has been a really good round. Both men producing excellent work here. Been good all the way through this, but this really is a good round here.
And applause as people stand as the two fighters go back to their corners. It has been a good fight, maybe not a classic, but there's the punches landed as we've scored them at ringside. Burns, more than twice as many. He's got to be ahead on the cards if the judges see it the same way we do. Evensen had his moments, though. There's that uppercut.
Yeah, but just when something special had to be produced, you have to hand it to Ricky Burns. He did that. Lovely uppercut and then followed by a right hand at long range. Looked at that stage as though maybe we could see an early ending, but again, Evensen got himself together, started firing again.
7 rounds, you've got it, Jim. 7 points, the difference at 10-8 in the opening round, so 7 points difference. Burns home and dry unless he gets knocked out, as far as you see. Burns looks as though he is heading for successful defence of his WBO title. The crowd all around are cheering on both fighters. The Glasgow crowd imploring Burns to provide a grandstand finish.
Well, we can't really ask Evensen to give any more than he's given, but here it comes again. Incredible effort he's put up tonight.
Well, he's done himself proud, and for a country which doesn't have a boxing tradition, Andreas Evensen has really battled all the way, and he goes out, if he is indeed to go out as a loser, he very much goes out on his shield.
Yeah, well, again, the work rate, Ricky Burns just struggling to compete with it, to control it. This is where he has to find those quality punches again. He just put this little fella back in his place.
Seconds ticking away into the last 2 minutes of this fight. Ricky Burns, the pride of Scotland, Glasgow's champion, at the Braehead Arena in front of a packed auditorium. He is looking to produce something very special and trying to hang on to the title that he won so wonderfully 3 months ago. And it seems as though he's doing enough, but Evensen is still bringing the fight to him right in his face.
Yep, so you just wonder, will any of the judges be impressed by the sheer effort, but in punches landed and quality? You have to feel that Ricky Burns will be going home with his championship intact. They took from Evensen. It's becoming a little bit scrappy now, but little wonder it's been fought at a hectic pace every second of this.
Judges from Hungary, France and the United States will determine it if it goes to the final bell, and it looks very much as though that's going to be the case as we go into the last minute of this fight. Evensen, as he has done throughout, up on his toes, jigging around, trying to throw the headshots, trying to throw the hooks, but Burns just tying him up.
I wonder if Burns just feels he's done enough, as you said. Again, just when you think signs are that he's beginning to sag a little bit, comes back with the good solid punches.
Good body shots from Burns. Now, grandstand finish maybe as we move into the last 10 seconds of the fight. Two very tired men though up there. They've given a lot. They've left nothing really in the tank. And the two of them will remember that for a long time. Evensen shrugs his shoulders and he applauds Ricky Burns. I think he knows that Burns has done enough. Burns is congratulated by the Evensen corner, and I think, unless the judges see something very, very different, that Scotland still has its world champion.
Yeah, the quality, it was the quality and the accuracy of Ricky Burns against the phenomenal work rate, we have to say, and the outright enthusiasm of Andreas Evensen. He couldn't have given it any more. He's a cuddle from his seconds there, but it's not a celebratory cuddle. I think they realise he's been outboxed tonight for most of the time, so I think they're resigned to the fact that they were not taking a champion home, but they're taking home a man they can be proud of. As the knockdown early didn't really trouble him all that much, didn't dent his confidence, he kept coming forward, but just whenever quality work was required, Ricky Burns seemed to pull himself together and produce it. Working under pressure every second of this 12-rounder at a hectic pace, but you just see the difference in quality. When Burns went to work, he produced the quality. Evensen didn't quite have the method in his boxing, just kept trundling forward, non-stop work, non-stop punches, but lacked the quality. It is a boxing match which is skill is supposed to count, and most of the skill we saw tonight came from Ricky Burns. Again, just when he reached the stage where he had to produce something to get this little fellow back in his place, he seemed able to do that. It was hectic, it was tough all the way through. Evensen can be proud of his effort, but I don't reckon it's enough, and I think his corner realised that as well.
Well, the tallies have been worked out. We're still waiting, and in a moment we will get the results. And here it is that WBO belt going to remain with Scotland's Ricky Burns? Let's find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for both boxers who gave it their all. After 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecard, and we have a unanimous decision. Judge Eddie scores the contest 119-108. Judge Monet 119-108. Judge Miller 118-109. The winner, and still the WBO Super Featherweight Champion of the world, in the blue corner, from Cambridge in Scotland, Ricky